Welcome, welcome, Solara here. I hope you guys are doing well today. I hope that you are resting as we move ever closer to this very intense full moon in Leo that's occurring on Sunday, February the 5th. I have a whole bunch of downloads for you guys again. They just keep on coming in and being added to. So please bear with me as I try to unravel all of this and hopefully get into some cards. A quick announcement, kind of housekeeping. I don't tolerate people coming on into my comment section and bullying those who are simply expressing their truth. If I see it happening, I will remove the comment or I will block. This is a space where everyone who is here to ascend and grow in their divinity and heal is welcome. I don't care what you believe in, what you want to call the higher power you believe in. This is a place of unity and connection. And anyone who tries to come in and attack someone simply for stating their truth when they're not in any way offending anyone else by doing so, you will automatically, I won't even engage with you and warn you. I will just remove your comment and block you. And I'm very active in my comment section. Even if I don't respond immediately, I'm very active because I like to be very aware of the energies that are circulating on my channel and that are trying to come in. So be very aware. I see. And I would ask those of you who are like faithful subscribers who are here often, if you see that kind of activity, please don't hesitate to, screenshot it, email it to me, call the person out on it. It's not okay. It's not okay. So this is an environment that I hope is supportive for those who want to be supported, and I won't tolerate any form of abuse. I don't care how cloaked it is, and I am very gifted at seeing subtleties. So don't try it. Just don't try it. Go take that somewhere else, or don't take it somewhere else at all. Go sit down with yourself and ask yourself why you feel you need to come at a stranger aggressively in a comment section. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay? As I say that, it's 20:33 on my clock. So on Wednesday, I was cleaning my kitchen. I'm washing dishes. And then I heard this voice and it said, "Don't be looking in my eyes. We ain't in love." And I said, "What? Don't be looking in my eyes. We ain't in love." And I was just like, okay, well, who is this and what are you saying? And then I realized that it's someone's guide, right? I don't know whose. I didn't engage with it any farther. I just kind of tuned in to get the message. And for some of you, there was somebody on your path at some point who liked to engage in very, very intense eye contact with you. And they don't have that power anymore. And for some of you, if this message is coming to you and you know that you're about to see this person again, it's almost like an encouragement that you don't really have to be concerned, but also whatever it was that you were sensing that was kind of nefarious about that person and how they would engage in eye contact with you, you were right. So do what you want to do. I would avoid eye contact with people like that because this person was housing a serpentine spirit. That's what my guides were showing me, because when I asked them to unravel it, they took me into remembering Jafar from Aladdin and that snake cane he had that he would use on the Sultan, and he would point it at the Sultan's face in order to hypnotize him. He was under a mind control spell, right? And then of course that led me to have to watch Aladdin again with my kids. So I did that yesterday. But there was somebody who, one of your ops, one of your karmics, for a lot of you, this is family, a lot of family energy coming up right now, because of course, a lot of these very dense contracts, family is the karmic connection from the beginning, right? It's even the karmic connection from which other karmic connections have kind of spread out like branches out of a family tree, you could say. And family is a big energy right now because The full moon, we are moving into the full moon in Leo. The last full moon we had was a full moon in Cancer. Cancerian energy deals with the fourth house. That's to do with family, that's to do with ancestry, lineage, and that's to do with mother energy, right? As we move into fifth house, it has a lot to do with inner child and inner child energy. So it's like, the way I see it is that as we move through every house, it's a culmination also of the contribution of the energies of the house before. So as you move into the fifth house is a culmination also of the fourth, third, second, and first. In other words, your inner child wounds, because the fifth house deals with that, is a direct effect from the way you were mothered, your position in your family in the fourth house, or in the third house, the way you communicated with your siblings and your peers, or in the second house, the way you were able to tune into your sense of value based upon, a lot of the time, those who were around you to help you tune into your divine sense of worth. And then of course we have first house, which is all to do with your identity, your divine identity, your connection to divinity and who you are, and who you are in the heavens, and who you came to be in the earth at this time in reflection to that, okay? So as such, because we're moving into the fifth house, and that has to do with a lot of inner child issues, the inner child wounds that we carry are often very much wrought in our positions in our family systems and family dynamics, as well as, you know, other systems like schooling, etc. But really family and school, and family being the primary source of both our inner child joy as well as our inner child wounds, because it's such a potent energy right now, moving into this full moon and moving from Cancerian energy into the Leo energy again into fullness. Because the spotlight is on that, a lot of stuff is coming up around that, okay? This person, whoever this person was, my guides were calling it serpentine hypnotic mind control. Take that as you will, but pretty much it's like being able to like cast a spell almost, or control someone or their mind through magic that is activated through connecting with eye contact. And what my guides were showing me about that is that this is like the continuation of spell work that's already being done. So I talked about this before, and how things are occur from the spiritual realm into the earth plane. They have to travel through the mental and the emotional planes, or through your thoughts and your emotions. And so a lot of the time when people are doing, you know, magic and energy work, what they're oftentimes doing is trying to affect the least dense of the energies, and the least dense energy above air even is spirit. Okay, so they're doing things in spirit in order to then change the density to pick up momentum, so that it gains density and can travel through the mind, through the heart, or through your feelings, or through your dreams, you know, because your feelings are connected, your emotional body is connected to your dreams and your intuition, in order to make something manifest in the earth. So whether the earth is your physical and material reality, or your body, it's kind of it's the same, okay? So what I was getting here is that this person was doing some kind of spell work, and the spell work was kind of like what they were doing in the spirit realm through their spell work was then activated in the mental planes through the ability to connect with your eyes. And in doing that, that then elicited the emotions, the accompanying emotions needed, that they also possibly were channeling through their eyes what they wanted from you in that position, in order to then be made manifest in your material reality. So this is how it's kind of like a form of subliminals, like how people know how to use certain phrases and drop certain phrases, almost like hypnosis. This is why they called it serpentine hypnotic mind control. But instead of activating a certain thought and accompanying feeling in you by way of you know, a song or a line or a word, they were doing it through a glance, Okay, and to that extent, some of these people willingly and willfully opened up their energy fields and welcomed in certain entities that enabled them to do this. Okay, if this is sounding familiar to you, this person has either completely lost the ability to do this, or they're losing it rapidly. Okay. I was also seeing, another thing that they kept on showing me. They've been showing me this for a while, and I keep on forgetting to mention it. For some of you, and this could still be active in your lives, take it as it resonates, there were psychometry devices being used, and I didn't know what psychometry was. I just kept on hearing the word, so I looked it up, and apparently psychometry is the act, and I was being shown an object and being told psychometry. So I looked up psychometry, and I found out that psychometry is the act of being able to pick up psychic messages from an object, right? But for me, I was really tuning into the metry part, because to me that's tied to a meter. That's about measuring something. It's measuring an energy. And for some of you, there's some kind of device that some of your handlers, you know, the people who were binding you and all of this other shit, whoever this was, whether it was a person, group, corporation, it doesn't matter. But they were using psychometry devices, and the psychometry devices were measuring where you were in terms of your own frequency or your vibration, so that they could determine how to apply their magic to you, if that makes sense. And I don't know today where I put my vibrational scale. Oh, it's here. I just cleaned up, and so I put it down here on the side. Okay, so we have my trusty vibrational scale picture, right? So their aim was to keep you, again, in the orange and the red. Fear, grief, apathy, guilt, shame, cycling through those, right? But it's almost like there were times, and my guides had shown me this before, but it's like they're unraveling more information around it for us now. Okay, so there were times when it worked very well to keep you stuck in these lower resonating energies, because this is where you could be controlled, because your energy field is constricted. It's that energy of feeling really small and feeling like you don't know how to do anything, or you don't know how to run your own life, and you don't know how to it's the energy they need you, and they need your energy small in order to make you feel small, in order for you to feel like you can't do what it is you need to do in order to survive, succeed, whatever your story is, right? So it's really important to keep your energy field constricted, really small, right? But there are also times where, because the whole point is to harness and to harvest, they willingly and willfully allow your energy field to expand. In fact, they want your energy field to expand. And the way my guides were showing it to me is, it's like when you're fattening an animal for slaughter. You're not going to starve that animal. You know, if you're a farmer, I would imagine, 2044 on my clock, if you're a farmer, I would imagine that the whole time you are breeding an animal that you're going to eventually eat or sell commercially for people to eat, I would imagine that the whole time you have that animal, you're going to keep it on some kind of diet because of your own, you know, like economics. And I'm not condoning this at all. I don't get down with this energy either, but I just want to illustrate something, right? And then when it's getting closer to the time of slaughter, then you're going to invest more in fastening up the creature, right? This is what my guides were showing me. It's like there were times when your energy was supposed to be lean, because that was the time where you're programmed, you're being controlled and programmed, and then you're allowed to expand a certain, they magically kind of release some of what it is that they're doing to constrict your field in order to fatten you up, because they need to get something from you. They need to get your codes. They need to get whatever it is, access from you. Like, there's so many different reasons why we were binded as divine beings on the astral, because we all have different gifts, different talents, different powers, different energies and frequencies we carry, different forms of access, right? So I say all of that because there are times that they allowed you. They may have not only allowed you, but done things in order to raise your vibration. You see, this is what I want to also state tonight. Okay, because we have a lot of toxic positivity in the spiritual and wellness community. And it was a post I saw on someone's Insta today. I think it was my friend, the Lyran Witch. They were saying that, or they had this post up, and it was all about how this person was saying, I'm no longer going to condone this idea of raising my vibration in order to ascend, because that's never seemed to really vibe with my real life experience. And I was just like, good, I'm glad people are realizing this, because here's the truth about ascension. It's not about constantly being in high vibrational energy. It's about being there the majority of the time, but it's also learning how to control and master your own vibration. That's what ascension is about. It's about mastering your vibration. And that means that when you fall into energies of shame, the shame is there, unless it's somebody else pushing you into that. The shame is there to show you where you've come against yourself, you've come against creation or Gaia, you've come against a fellow being that has life. It's there to show you that something isn't right, that you're living below your value, that you're living below your divinity, in order for you then to course correct, and rise again so you can live in this expansive energy. That's the point. The point of the vibrational scale, the point of being here on earth, is to master our ability to possess self enough that we are in charge and in command of our own energy and our own vibration. Because there is a time to come down from being love and joy and peace and light. There's a time to come down into anger and even into pride, which isn't negative. It's just an energy and how you express it. It can be expressed as arrogance. It can also be expressed as complete, like, self-rejection. But in its 0 point, it can be expressed as having a sense of self-value enough to, like, stand up for yourself and protect yourself, which is why it's right next to anger. So there is a time to descend in order to deal with certain energies that are trying to keep you from being in a state of expansion. So, for example, if you are up here living your own life in acceptance, reason, love, and joy, and you're having a lovely time, and then somebody is coming and they're wanting to pull you down into this energy of shame, it's perfectly fine for you to come down here, come down here, come down here, step into a little bit of anger, pride, which is the expression of your self-value, and have the courage to speak your truth and tell that person about themselves. And protect your energy, or protect whatever is innocent, in order to rise again. So, again, ascension is about mastering your own vibration. And I'm saying that because ultimately, what all of these external forces, people, karmics, whatever you want to call them, what they were trying to do was control your vibration and to keep you stuck in lower vibrations in order to energetically prison you so you could be under their control. Okay? So to that extent, the psychometry device I was seeing was there to measure where you were at every single time, to see if, oh, is this person in the state of fear I need them in shame right now so that I can exploit that? Oh, is this person feeling better about themselves and connecting more with their own heart space so that when it comes time for me to jack them up and take their abundance and their codes, they'll be ready. Okay, so this is what they were showing me. Very sick, I know, all right? But what I was seeing also is I was seeing in the spirit, I was seeing all of these people and beings come together, and they were raising their glasses and they were high-fiving and they were like doing a song and a dance, because whoever this reading is for, whoever this is vibing with these downloads, you've overcome this, you've woken up to it, you've recognized it, you've realized it, you've triumphed over it, and it's not happening for you anymore. And your guides are so proud, because for many of you it's been a really really, really long road, right? And this is a very difficult thing to wake up from, because you have to tread that line of being very careful not to fall into paranoia, right? So again, it has to be, you have to be in such balance to understand and overstand how these energies work, and to not allow them to consume you. And that in and of itself was part of your test. And so many of you have or are overcoming it, and you have literally guides and energies and beings in the spirit that are partying on your behalf, okay? And when I asked them why they were like in such a celebratory mood, they said, because someone got caught in the very web they tried to snare you in. And then one of them said, and they're being wrapped up tight. So, and then they gave me the vision of a spider having caught a fly, and, you know, all of that. Okay, so that was the first download from Wednesday. Then on Thursday, what I began to pick up on is that a lot of the control that was enacted in the area of the root chakra, it's coming up, but at the same time, it's almost like it's being healed and you're getting upgrades in that area, but at the same time, it's almost like you're being attacked there too. But what I want you to know is that the attacks against that area are there to actually help you tune into the upgrades. Everything that these people send your way, these energies, people, groups, they try to send your way, are here to actually help you tune deeper into your power and to receive your power and your upgrades. So, you know, if you really want to piss them off, every time you know that they're sending you shit, tell them, thank you. I send it back to you with so much gratitude, because you just helped me unlock another level of my power. And I'm so grateful for that, right? But for some of you, what it's been manifesting as, or what it might be magnified as right now, are digestive issues. And again, I'm not a medical practitioner. So I'm not a medical practitioner, I'm not a mental health advisor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not any of those. Those aren't my profession. So where you need real-time material help, please make sure to seek that, because I'm here just to show you what's been happening in the energies of everything, right? So we have to deal with all aspects of ourselves, you know, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, okay? So digestive issues, right? Root chakra attacks or root chakra interference works a lot with the digestive tract and sixth house energies, because your digestive tract is connected to Virgo energy, okay? Because it's connected to the sixth. And because it's Virgo energy, it's connected to the sixth house. So that's all about your daily routines and how you're able to show up. And it's about your work life, right? And it's about how you're able to, the Virgo energy and the sixth house energy is also about how you're able to go out into the world and exercise your independence for your own sense of confidence and value, right? That's the Virgo energy. But it's also, because you're dealing with the gut, it is very much to do with intuition, because as you know, the Virgo energy in the major arcana is depicted by the Hermit, and the Hermit energy is all about going within to connect with your own light of truth that then leads you into higher knowledge and to your own wheel of fortune. So the Virgo energy is actually very much in tune with intuition, and indeed, all mercurial energy is about not only your communication with people here on the earth, it's about how you communicate with spirit and with the cosmos, okay? So the sixth house energy and the digestive issues and the root chakra stuff, a lot of this is the clearing of attack energies that were there to make you constantly doubt your intuition, to constantly stop you from going into the hermit mode and from following your own lamp. It was there to stop you from that and to continue to have you looking outside of yourself in a helpless state where your energy field is all small and you feel all small, and you're looking outside of yourself for everyone to tell you what it is you're supposed to do and where it is you're supposed to go and how it is you're supposed to do it, okay? So a lot of that programming, individually and collectively, is coming undone. And as such, a lot of it is root energy, because it's there well, for one thing, it's very deeply rooted, but for another thing, it's like the foundational energies right now are being shifted, right? And a lot of how we learn how to connect with our own sense of intuition and our ability to trust self is based upon our root relationships, our family, the things that ultimately are ultimately fundamental in our development as children. And so the root, the way it might be manifesting for you and the way it might have been, especially in this time of really intense warfare, that I want to say, the way my guide showed me it really began with the new moon in Leo last year up until this full moon in Leo. And that's not to say the warfare is going to end after this, but there's a very real reason why that 6-month window has been so volatile, and it's been so like the energies have been so aggressive, let's put it that way. And yes, I don't want to get into it on YouTube, but if you want to know more about this, actually the full moon in Leo report that I've just written for those of you who are in my Daily Alchemy members portal, I get stuck into that there. So if you're interested in that, then please check out my website to learn about membership. Or if you're interested to just get that report, check out my community board. I did a post explaining how you can do that already. But the whole point of this, like there's been this this intensity in these 6 months, in like this 6-month window, and for some of you, you may have had digestive issues that were manifesting as either, you know, diarrhea or constipation, or back and forth between the two. And what my guides were showing me about that, because you may have been experiencing that this week also, because there's a lot shifting in order to help you to create a firmer foundation and for your root chakra to be upgraded into the new earth energies. But what they were showing me about that is because there were a lot of attacks there were a lot of financial attacks against light ones. There were a lot of attacks designed to keep us in an energy of being stuck and afraid, where we can't maneuver and do what we have to do. Right? And that may have really magnified for many of you in this 6-month cycle, maybe worse at certain times, maybe hopefully it's getting better now. But the whole point, well, not the whole point, but the whole manifestation of the diarrhea versus the constipation is where you can see that there are a lot of blocks that have been being placed in your energy field. Okay, that's one thing it can show. But the constipation can show an energy of somebody who is constantly working, making money, but never has money. You know, that energy of you can work your job every month, and every month you get a paycheck, and when you pay everything, you have nothing left, and it feels like, why do I even, you know, work? Because I have nothing for myself. It's that energy, and that's what how many of us have been experiencing it, either as like blocks, where you just don't get no money, or you can't, or there's like, I can't hold on to money, I can't save money, I can't. All of that is being cleared, okay? It's attacks against also with that Virgo energy. It's attacks against the 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles, which is that energy of being able to reap what you sow, grow into financial independence, enough to be able to leave a legacy on the earth. All of the fuckery around that is being shifted right now, and this full moon in Leo is assisting that. The Magician energy, of course, is the Mercurial energy, which is Mercury rules over Virgo, so it's also a Virgo card in the major arcana, and that is, of course, trying to prevent you from having access to everything you need in order to create your reality. So the magician needs to have full possession of all of his or her tools in order to move forward and to enact his or her magic, right? So they need the wands, the swords, the cups, and the pentacles. And for many of you, a lot of your shit was being stolen through other magic and fuckery, and the full moon in Leo is helping to clear your abilities. And in fact, it's also calling, in a big way, it's calling back out of the earth, and this has been an energy that's been growing in momentum. I really started to pick up with it at the end of last year. The earth is giving back to you the magic that always was yours, that has been hidden and has been abused. Yes? So the root attacks were all about the attack against your material and earthly reality and stability, against your independence. It was creating an energy of having you thinking that you need someone or something outside of you in order to survive. Again, it's that energy of shrinking you down enough to make you dependent or codependent. Never independent or interdependent, right? That was the point. It was meticulously done and enacted. Okay, for some of you, it was, again, these people with these psychometry devices. This is where they have been targeting you in the past couple of months also. And now, because like I said, a lot of your root chakra upgrades are coming by way of the attacks, they're sending you this energy, and they're wondering, some of them are using their little machines, especially if they're near you, they're wondering, why isn't it working? Why aren't all of these attacks maybe against your health, or maybe against your mind, or whatever it is, even your home? Because that's really where the root chakra attacks will be. It will be against your body, and it will be against your home, and it will be against all of those things that help you to feel stable in your own reality. And they're wondering, why is it not working anymore? And this isn't something that's new. It's just that it's becoming even more plain and obvious that it's not working. This has been the push and pull, energetically speaking, with them over the past 6 months, because they don't realize that we went through a shift, such a huge magnanimous shift in Leo season of last year when the moon was in Aquarius, where at that point, the stuff that they tried to do was, it began to be rejected because of where we were in the ascension, and also because planetarily, a lot of the planets are no longer, they're no longer able to be corrupted because of the ascension energies, okay? You could be a Virgo. The person who's been doing this could be a Virgo. They could be working with a Virgo, or this is simply the energy that they're using against you. But the Virgo energy is big here. So you're being guided to look at where that is on your chart, look at the house it rules, and also look at what sits in your 6th house, okay? Everything was trying to move against finding the balance that you needed in order to transform. So in order to move from the Virgo energy into the Libra energy, which is finding your balance, right? In order to move into the Scorpio energy, which is to be born again. And this is the key to sacrifice, right? Astral sacrifice, because people have asked me, you know, what it is, and it's an energetic war. The biggest wars that we fight are not the ones that we see on land. The ones we see on land and on the earth plane are actually just a physical reflection of what it is that they're trying to do to us in the heavenlies, or it's a way of grounding those warring energies that they were trying to enact above, so that below it was anchored in. Okay, it's grounding, which is why we've lived in a time where we've had the energy of war has been so real. But it's not only the war on the ground, it's the war within. It's the war within. So the whole point of sacrificing someone astrally or energetically is to control and master their vibration to the point where you can take them to extreme lows, right? And then bring them up high enough to think that they're going somewhere, only to dash them down again. And when you bring them high enough, that's where you go in and you take. And then and it's like the energy of you've been saving, and then all of a sudden a huge bill comes in that you weren't expecting. That's like, and it wipes out everything you're saving, and you have to start again. But every time you save, someone comes in and that happens. It's kind of that energy. But the one who's coming in, it's not a bill that you owe anyone. It's people coming in and stealing what it is that you've been accruing. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. The whole point of this constant drama is to cause you to be in a constant state of trauma. And this kind of energy, it causes trauma, it causes injury, but most importantly, it causes fragmentation to your soul. It causes separation within. It causes your own energy field to be at war with itself, okay, and to be out of balance. And because you're so powerful, and really the energies that you hold and you magnify out into your reality is then what creates the reality you know. If they could get us all in a state of war within, that's how this whole old world system, where everything was out of balance and only like 1% of the population controlled all the resources on the planet, right? And so there's crazy, there are people who are crazy rich, and then there are like a huge ass population. The majority of the Earth's population were either poor or destitute. That's how you enact these kinds of energies. Because we weren't created to live out of balance. The world is not supposed to be in a state where there are people who have all of this money and then there are people who can't eat. That's not the design. That's not Mother and Father God or Gaia's design for Earth. That's not the design of that. That wasn't supposed to be the design, right? And it's why so many of you who are divine beings, this kind of stuff eats at you. And possibly even when you were a child, you didn't get it and you asked questions and you didn't like it and it bothered you, and people were constantly trying to either shut you up or tell you this is just the way the world is and all this other stuff. It's because you know what it is to live in balance, because you are divine in nature. And many of you are here because of ascension, and you've accessed your divinity in past lives. You've accessed that state of being able to live in balance. Okay? Some of you are time travelers. You've come from the future. Future timelines where what we're talking about now actually is real. Because they know this, and this is what Jesus was talking about in the Bible when he says a house divided against itself cannot stand. And what he's talking about, what he was talking about or is talking about, is your energy field is your home. It is your home. The building that you live in, the four walls you live in, yeah, that's your physical home. And it's an extension of your energy field. But when you leave that place and you go somewhere else and you move house and you make another place your home, the only home you're going to have your whole life that you're born into and that you leave when you transition is your body, is your energy field. This is your home. And so the whole point is to divide yourself, is to cause division within self. So Jesus said a house divided against itself cannot stand. But really what it is a person divided against themselves cannot stand. And if you are constantly being cycled through these energies, like in a loop, staying in this energy, and then occasionally coming up here, but spending the majority of your time like in these lower vibrations, then that is creating separation within self. That is creating fragmentation, because it's like you have to fit into that energy. And in order to fit into that energy, you've got to give up certain aspects of self. And this is what we're doing right now. We're calling all of that back, and we're saying to anyone who is trying to shrink us or to dim our light or to make us smaller than what we came here to be, to go fuck themselves. Because we're here to be big. We're here to be everything we came here to be. And this whole old world system was designed to tell us to constantly be small. Be smaller. Don't take up too much room. Fuck a bunch of that. Okay? For some of you, this was another message coming through, right? Some of you, there was strategic work that was done against you every time you began to awaken, Okay, so for some of you, you've had such a hard time because you've been very conscious of this shit from the time you were a kid. But the problem was you had no one there to mirror back to you that what you were experiencing was real. And so a lot of the time you were made to feel crazy. You were made to feel like an outcast, right? But part of it is that every time you began to awaken and tune into your truth, there were people that were there that were strategically working to kill that light as it would grow. So you would go through a dark night of the soul maybe, but you didn't glean the lesson from the dark night of the soul, if that makes sense. And that can be, you see that happening with people who got stuck in depressive episodes, for example, because, and this is what my guides have shown me, this is not, you know, again, I'm not a mental health professional. This is just what they've shown me. And from my own experiences, because I struggled with major depression from the time I was a child, okay? When you kill, when you take a being who's designed to be very big and you try to make them small and stuff them into a box, that's uncomfortable. Their soul doesn't like it. This is what often will bring on for many of us depression, because we're being forced into being really small and to fit into these tiny containers that are way too small for our energy. And our energy, it's almost like if you're sitting like you're sitting on a train, or if you have to sit in a plane in economy for like all of your life. It's okay for the, 5-hour, 6-hour, 12-hour flight you have to do, right? But if you had to sit in that seat like that, of course it's going to agitate you, right? That's kind of energetically what it was and what it is for us, because it's a repression of the energy field. It's a pushing the growing energy into, and for some of you, you were ascending and you were expanding, and then you were being pushed back into the same size box, which caused even deeper levels of depression, if that makes sense. Okay, now, 2112 on my clock. That's world energy and hanged man energy. World energy is the end of sacrifice. And for many of you, this is another message that was coming through. Thank you, Spirit. Another message. They showed me the Hanged Man card earlier on today, because we are in Hanged Man energy. No, sorry. We're moving into Hanged Man energies with Pisces season. But they were showing me the Hanged Man card today because they were saying to me, many of these people, especially the ones who are persisting to continue to try to make you small, control you with magic, do all of this fuckery, many of them, every time they're doing that, it's like they're building their own gallows. So they're trying to hang you, but actually they're building their own gallows right now to be hanged. That's what they were showing me. But there's an end. There's no more of you being placed in the gallows, in other words, with that world. The world card is, again, that fixed cross energy that we see in the Wheel of Fortune with Sagittarius, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Leo, which is why these energies right now are so... are also like reaching a climax. It's because we are in like cosmologically, we are engaged in fixed cross energy, right? And there's a lot of stubbornness on both sides. There are those who don't want to let go of the old regime that are fighting you. And then there's you standing in your power and saying, fuck all of you. This is a new age, right? So there's a lot of stubbornness. There's a lot of tension because of that. But in order for the world energy to come, that we have to come to the fixed cross again. In order for change, like real change, it's like we always have to come into that fixed cross energy. I won't go into too much of it right now, but what was coming up today was also, for some of you who've been dealing with a karmic mother, this karmic mother is still trying to control your perception, trying to, for some of you, send monitoring energies, monitoring people, spirits, whatever it might be, to try and watch you. But really what I was getting was mirror box energy. And mirror box magic is when somebody will line a box with mirrors and face them inwards and then place something that represents you in that box. And while I'm not saying that everyone, that if you're dealing with a karmic mother, they've done that, I want to tell you what the effects of that or what they're trying to achieve with that is, because this is the energy that we're dealing with right now with some of you and karmic mothers, whether your karmic mother is still in your life, whether this is an energy that is coming up to be released from your life, or whether this is them still actively trying to fuck with you, okay? The mirror box energy is there to put somebody in a box and then control the temperature and the energies within that box, and to have those energies be magnified and become certain projections. Because you know, like mirrors are kind of like they don't create. If you look in a mirror, it's not actually how your face is. It's your reflection, right? It is the mirror image of you, which isn't exactly you. It's kind of like it's not 100% accurate, right? And so mirrors can be used in work to kind of amplify illusions, okay? And for many of you, with this full moon coming up, they think again that they can tap into the energy of the moon to continue to cast these veils of illusion over you. And there's a karmic mother here that's trying to go very hard at this energy right now, whether they are engaged in doing this magically, whether they've hired someone else to do it, or whether it's simply in the energy that they're projecting towards you in how they think about you, or talk to you. So be aware, because this energy, another thing that was coming up is a herb eyebright. For some of you, you might want to use that in some way, because it was coming up to show that whatever projections and illusions that this karmic mother or mother figure is trying to throw at you, it's designed to keep you from trusting your own intuition, and it's also to keep you from processing your downloads, okay? It's there to fuck with your third eye, in other words. And again, this energy, it comes up always around the full moon. It's always there, but especially around the full moon, because of what the full moon represents. There's always going to be, or not there's always going to be, there always has been, and there continues to be until there won't be any more, attempts to fuck with people's dreams. Because if you can get into a person's dreams and you can fuck with them there, then you can fuck with their intuitive abilities. You can switch things up so that, for example, if their guides are coming to speak to them and to warn them, they're not getting those messages in dream state. Now, this is not to make you panic. Your guides will always find ways to get you the help and the answers you need. Even if you're coming here and you're going to other readers and they're able to tell you certain things, or you're watching videos like this. This is how your guides get to you also, especially right now, because of that. But be aware of that. There's a lot of trying to fuck with the crown and the third eye, but this karmic mother energy specifically has a vested interest in messing with your intuition. And that, again, 2 chakras represent water element or your divine feminine energy. Whether you're a man or woman or non-binary, we both have feminine and masculine energy, or yin and yang. It's, again, an attack against your feminine energy, an attack against your ability to tune into your intuition and trust it. And the reason why it's happening right now is that because, like I said, with that hermit energy, your way forward on your own divine path to come into divine alignment with your divine legacy, divine abundance, and all the things that are your birthright divinely can only be accessed by way of you going within and following your own light and path. If you are doubting that, if you are doubting your downloads, if you are questioning your intuition, if you're not going with your gut, you are going down another path. You are being controlled by another energy outside of yourself. And this is exactly the point of this. So be aware. Okay, a Saphotida was coming up also. Some of you might want to work with that. It's stinky. It gets rid of hexes and curses and really stubborn energy. So some of you, this full moon in Leo is helping you to kick out some really fucking stubborn energy that has dictated how you've thought about yourself in the world. Because again, it's that inner child energy. It's that energy that is also in the root chakra. It's deeply rooted, and it needs like fire, and it needs force, and it needs even the energy of the storm was coming. It needs that to move it, because it's stubborn and it's stagnant energy. Okay, so this full moon in Leo is helping you. But a Saphotida, for those of you who are feeling this more, you might want to work with that. Okay. there's also this energy of necromancy that was coming up. Somebody, and again, this is attached to this karmic mother energy, whether this is something they're doing now or it's something they've done in the past to enact this, I don't know. I didn't go too deep into it, but it was necromancy, and how my guides were explaining it is that they're trying to unearth something in you that you have buried. Okay, and for some of you that might be like, that's a good thing, right? Whatever attacks that they're sending you is actually helping you to unearth the magic that you may have buried within yourself, not even on this or past incarnations, because of maybe persecution or various other, you know, reasons why you would repress that. It's helping to unearth that. But really what the message I was getting coming through was, it's almost like some of you have gotten past being certain ways and living in accordance with scripts that this karmic mother tried to place upon you, right? And it's like they're trying to unearth that to in order for you to begin to live in that vibration or frequency again. So for example, if before you realized all of this was happening and your life kept on going to shit and you developed a victim complex, right? And you had a lot of self-pity, which is a normal place to go when you're being victimized, but it's not the place you want to stay if you want to tune into your own sense of empowerment. It's almost like they want to unearth that part of you that was so easily victimized and wore your badge of victimhood like it was your fucking identity. They want to unearth that in you again. So again, you can be more controllable, because again, it's this energy of putting you back in the box where they can puppet you and control you and send all of their projections, their mirror box projections, and cloud the fuck out of your third eye and control you, right? And for some of you, this karmic mother, she is the one with the serpentine hypnotic mind control gaze. Not for all of you, but for some of you, that is it. This download came in today. The other one came in on Wednesday, okay? There's also this energy of somebody, be very aware when you're working right now with the violet flame and anyone trying to interfere with what it is that you're doing. The violet flame itself cannot be compromised, obviously, but there's something here about someone trying to it's like intercept what you're doing with it. So when you are working with any archangelic flames or these kinds of energies that are here to cleanse and clear and protect you, make sure that you're calling in your protection also as you do that. There's something, or maybe for some of you, like some people work with the flames, but they don't work with the guardians and the keepers of the flame. Maybe this is an invitation for you to kind of tune in and find out who are the keepers of the flame, so that when you're working with this energy, it can't be like messed with, if that makes sense, okay? But there's also a very, this color purple keeps coming up, keeps coming up, keeps coming up. My daughter was speaking to me about this last night and this morning too, the color purple. And of course, the color purple on the vibrational scale is like peace. It's enlightenment. It's when you are, you're not engaged in war within self. Right? And I feel like this full moon in Leo is giving like, it's opening a window or a door to help many of you rise into that place of being able to access these energies. And maybe that's why there's an assault against it and why they're showing it to me in color. But even on the earth plane, color purple is considered a color of royalty. For many of you, there are royal activations coming from your timelines where you've been royalty, or if you carry that energy within your own DNA. There is see throat, because this is what it's attacking. I have it written down. I'll get to it in a second. But there are attempts to try and kind of intercept that in a way. And the whole point of it is because what I was being, well, this actually is courtesy of my daughter, but what it is that's trying to happen, it's trying to come in to deactivate your throat. Your throat is your throne. Okay, it's your throne. It's your seat of power. It's where you connect with the frequency of truth, integrity, and you're able to stand in that energy and live it. It's also where you're able to speak your truth, right? Your throat is also where you can begin to access, where you can begin to express, rather, your own divine frequency on the earth plane. Your throat energy is very connected to your blueprint, but it's also very connected to the fifth dimension and the kind of the ways of being in the fifth dimension, right? There are attempts here to deactivate your ability to connect with your blueprint, your ability to not only connect, but walk in the frequency of integrity, truth, and your own integrity. And your own authenticity, okay? But there's also, and this is for those of you, because I know a few of you who watch me are readers yourself, and you have your own channels and you have your own collective. Please be very aware there is also an attempt to weaken the power of the reach of your words. This is what was coming through too. So be very, try to tune into your own throat chakra and do clearing work around that, because it's like they were coming in a violet energy, and it's like they're wanting to not only it's not only like deactivate your throat or weaken the power. What it is that they're trying to do is, again, cloak themselves in this energy. So for many of you, especially those of you who are readers, or you have public platforms and you've been dealing with this copycat energy, this people stealing your stuff, that's one physical representation of this energy at work. But it's also people who are stealing your ideas and wanting to come and act as if it's all their own idea, or they're trying to be you. And I'm not talking about people who are like inspired by your words, and you know, there might be some similarity because as readers we sometimes share similar downloads. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about somebody who comes and speaks your whole message as if those were their downloads. It's that energy of false light, but cloaking themselves in your light. This is what's happening, because they were showing me again that Little Mermaid thing, right? That Little Mermaid thing with Ursula stealing her voice and putting it into the shell. Okay, it's almost like that kind of energy. Somebody needs your frequencies, your voice, your sounds, in order to pretend that there's something they're not. It's not going to happen, right? Because like I said before, the earth can't support this. But you should know, the more knowledge you have about what it is that they're trying to do, the better armed you are to stand in your power. And when these things, or if these things come in your path, be like, oh, that's what Solarah was talking about. I know you, I see you, I identify you, and I expose you. And I take authority over my own energy field, because the minute you do that, they can't do anything to you anymore. The thing about it is this, and I'm going to say it again because I don't think it can be said enough. Once an energy is exposed, it loses its potency. So once what people thought they were doing in the dark, and they were hiding, and they were learning how to work these energies of mind control, and they thought they were so smart, and they were laughing at you because they thought you were so weak and vulnerable and all that other shit. Once your guides start to expose these things to you, it's game over for them. It's game over for those energies, because they need the darkness in order to thrive. They need to be able to be hidden. And once they come into the light and they're exposed, it's like they begin to lose their potency. Okay, so let's see. Okay, Sacred Traveler deck is what they're telling me to go into, so let's see why, because we're already at the 58-minute mark. Just a quick question for you guys, and you can comment below and let me know. Do you guys prefer like these long readings with downloads and cards, and I come on like maybe a few times a week, or do you prefer when I do like just readings and I come on more often? Just want to know like some feedback on how you guys are feeling. I've been kind of limiting how much I've been coming on here for the past 2 weeks because I'm trying to alchemize my energy in the midst of all of this, but I'd be interested to know so I can also get into alignment with that and what it is that you guys need in accordance with, of course, my needs too. So if you could let me know, I would be very, very appreciative. Okay. Let me connect. I saw like an energy of something swirling. It was almost like storm energy, but it was very much centered. It looked like the sun. It looked like an energy that was just swirling almost like a storm, almost like a tornado in effect around the sun. I don't know what that means. I know what that means. I know like with this full moon in Leo, it is a lot of solar energy. It's, of course, Leo is ruled by the sun and Sunday is ruled by the sun. It's a lot of solar energy, and it's double tower energy because we have the 16 degrees in Leo and 16 degrees in Aquarius. And the number 16, of course, is the tower, which is the other energy underpinning 2023, because 2023 is the year of the chariot. Because when you break down those numbers, you get, excuse me, you get 7, which is the number 7 card is the chariot. And then also the tower, because when you break down 1 plus 6 is also 7. So the towers are falling in order to make the road clear for your chariot to move forward. That's kind of how my guides have been showing it to me. But the 16 degree, and I got into this in the full moon in Leo report too, is also a degree of Cancer. So it's very interesting how this last full moon is really supporting the energies of this moon, because a lot of these karmic energies, especially those that are rooted in like the distorted feminine energies and motherhood and how that had an effect on us as children, the spotlight is really on that right now. Yeah. Because, and I won't get too deep into this, but you know, the role of your mother gives you your emotional body, your emotional makeup, and your mother actually is the one who will pass down trauma. Like scientifically speaking, trauma can be carried matrilineally, I think up to 3 generations, right? So we inherit not only how we deal with our emotions from our mothers, because they oftentimes are a primary caregiver in the physical, but we indeed inherit that in utero and how we develop and how our very emotional body is formed in accordance with our what is already in the emotional field of our mothers, but also what her experience is in pregnancy. We hold all of that. We hold all of that memory cellularly. So it's almost like we're also like clearing that out now too. 2133. And it's a deep clearing. Okay, let's see. That's a lot. Traveling lightly, simplify your life. So yes, this is, we are in a full moon weekend. Full moon energies are about release. Okay, so this is all about clearing out the things that are no longer of use to you for the next cycle. Okay, so between the full moon and the new moon, it's the time to begin to take inventory of what it is that we're not needing. And the thing about this full moon is that as we move deeper into the new moon in Aries, which is kind of like the start of the astrological new year, with every moon that we move towards that, so we have the full moon in Leo, and then the last full moon we have the full moon in Virgo, the need to do more clearing and cleansing around moving into a newer cycle is going to be needed. So this is a time again to let go of things, because this full moon in Leo is really about dealing with your inner child, but also it's about accessing your confidence, your power, your strength, your ability to shine, because it's also connected to the Aquarian energy of the star. We're dealing with the star and the sun energy. So two very potent illuminating energies. But the whole design of this energy is to help us illuminate the things that we need to take a look at or release in order to come into alignment, into deeper divine alignment. That's the energy of the star. It's also to be able to, again, unlock that energy of bringing who we are already in the heavens, astral, birth chart, onto the earth planes. Yes? So we have 4 cards that came out. We have stepping into power. You are strong beyond measure. This is giving me hermit vibes, right? But also that word strong makes me think strength card. It's again that Leo, Virgo energy. This is an important corridor as we move from this full moon into the full moon in Virgo up until the new moon in Aries. It's really important that you hold on to your truth, because you're moving into a window where the power you're accruing is going to be utilized in very magnificent kind of ways. But it's really important for that, in order for that to happen and to be maximized, that you recognize and realize your power, you claim it, you hold on to it, and you walk through it, especially in the times when you're feeling alone, or it's dark, or like you feel like you're under attack, or people are, like gossiping about you, trying to make you feel as if you're not as powerful as you know you are. I say that because I see these 2 figures. There are 2 figures in the background, and they almost look kind of ghost-like. And it's almost like this person is walking away from these energies that have haunted them and kept them from being able to really walk into the fullness of their power. But the thing is like this, and I'm coming back to that energy of family, because it's family where we get, where we form our own sense of self-value and the confidence it takes for us to step into our power. What I'm getting here is that, like, even when we walk away from when we become like independent as adults and you walk away from your family, it doesn't mean you walk away from your family. You get what I'm saying? I'm not talking about physically. Even if you're estranged, it still doesn't mean you've walked away and you've released certain things, because those voices, those feelings, those are the ghosts that begin to haunt you and continue to dictate your path and who you are or who you aren't in the world. And it's like there's an energy right now that's calling us all to really take inventory of all of those things that have been really, again, that root chakra energy really deeply rooted in us, and we've actually maybe even overlooked because they were so familiar that we thought it was who we were, and it's not. It's not any part of who you are divinely. And some of these energies, if you don't release them, if I don't release them, if we don't release them, these are the very energies that we're going to allow to keep us out of our power. So it's really time to give up the ghost of some of this stuff, and to really tune into that Leo energy that reminds you of your strength and reminds you of your right to shine and to be big, and to not only exist in the world, but to thrive in the world, and to be who you came to be here unabashedly and authentically, and to be loved for that, and to be admired for that, and to be celebrated for that, because you have, it's your birthright. I said this in another video. It's your birthright to shine and to be celebrated. This whole idea of celebrity was, again, that energy of causing division and war by creating these energies of making people feel that some are better than others. Every single being has value. Even the ones that come to exercise darkness have their place in all of this. Nothing is without value. Unknown territory. You are exactly where you need to be. Some of you, because you're choosing to step into your power and you're leaving behind so much of what is familiar, and you have these voices, whether they're literal voices or whether they're at work at you through projections or energy work or whatever, you have this energy coming against you that wants to make you feel like you don't know where you're going, you're on the right path. Let me let me shrink you back into your little box down here so that I can control you and make you feel small and make you feel like I know what's best for you, or you're not capable, or you're not able, and all this other stuff. And it's just like, no. Spirit says you are exactly where you need to be. The path may seem like it's dimly lit at times, but there's still a light. It might feel cold, but you're still going in the right direction. It might feel like you're lost at times, but sometimes you got to get lost to find yourself and your truth again. It might feel cold, it might feel lonely, like nobody else is around, but how else are you supposed to access your own power if you insist on following other people, or listening to their opinions of where it is you should be, or allowing them to be the barometer of who you are and your success? If you're feeling these energies, it's likely because you're directly where you're supposed to be. And some of you with this card, you have very strong connections with avian energies, okay? With birds. Or maybe even for some of you with avian races, okay? And they are here to help and guide you and help to give you a higher perspective, especially when these energies of the ghosts of the past want to come back and tell you you're not good enough, or you don't know where you're going, or you'll never get there, or it's all in your mind, or your intuition is fucked up and what you're thinking or experiencing isn't really real, or you're crazy, or anything, any of those energies that like to come against you and drag you back down into that tiny little energetic prison so you can circulate between fear and shame, fear and shame, fear and shame. Oh wait, I have joy. Oh, back to the fear and shame, the hamster wheel. No more. No more. It's time to exit the matrix. You exit it by way of enlightenment, which is the purple. We're going for the purple. Okay? Oh look, the cards are purple. That wasn't even on purpose. Voyage of the heart. Love flows through you and to you. This full moon in Leo. Leo rules the heart. Aquarius rules the ankles, okay, and the shins. It's how you're able to move forward on your path in divine alignment. But Leo rules the heart. So a lot of heart activations and also possibly Earth star activations with this full moon in Leo. For as long as you are following your heart, you are on the right path. And this is why this moon is so important. The full moon in Leo, like I said, it rules the heart, but it also, when you are a child, you have a very good idea of who you came here to be in the world. Now, adults may tell you that your dreams are too big and you'll never do this and this is not how the world is, and nah, 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 nah. That's not true. The truth was what it was you said before everyone tried to talk you out of it and make you feel like you were crazy or like your dream wasn't achievable. This moon is about helping you to access those lost dreams of your childhood where you actually were in divine alignment and following your heart. And then these people had to come and shut you down and put you in a box so you could be controlled and told what. That's what this moon is also about, okay? So we have impasse. Reflect and redirect your energy, okay? So whenever you feel like there is a blockage on your path, and right now it might feel like there are blocks that are coming up and they feel insurmountable. They're not. It's just an opportunity for you to focus on where the stagnant energy is and to get it moving and flowing and redirect it in order to open the way. Okay, so you deal with that through really having a deep connection with knowing who you are and how it is you feel. Like I've said this before in readings, I'm saying it again, when my daughter gets stuck, because she's a Virgo, she's highly mercurial, and when she gets stuck in her head, and I have heavy Virgo energy, so I get it too. So when we get stuck in our heads, or when she gets stuck in her head and she feels like she's at an impasse, right? And she wants to, it's almost like she doesn't want to break out of the energy. She wants to break out of it, but she doesn't. That energy where you're at war with yourself. And I say to her, how do you feel? And she might not be able to identify it at the time. And I say, okay, you can't identify it. 2144. You can't identify it. That's okay. Here's a better question. If you had to live the rest of your life feeling this way, would you sign up for that? And most of the time the answer is no. So then you know that the energy is there to be shifted. Okay? because we have to recognize and realize, because we're mastering our own vibration, we don't stay in places longer than we want to, because then we begin to create from that reality. So this energy right now, we come back full circle to the beginning of the reading and the video, and it's like, again, you're here to master your own vibration, and a lot of what's happening right now is here to facilitate that. So tune deep into yourself and what it is you desire, and pull up the vibrational scale. You know, Google or DuckDuckGo it, vibrational scale, and take a look at it, and start to really explore yourself. You know, explore your energy and see, and start to recognize that you master your energy, not anything outside of you, not a person, not a situation, not a circumstance, nothing. You always have a choice. It might not feel like you have a choice, but you do. That idea that you don't have a choice is, again, a trick of the Matrix in order to for you to surrender control over your own vibration. So ascension is not about being in a high vibration all the time. Ascension is about learning to master your own vibration. And I'm going to love you and leave you there, because we are 1 hour and 14 minutes in. Wowza. Anyway, it's been a pleasure reading for you. It's been a pleasure sharing with you some of the things that I've been being shown. I hope that this information has been helpful and insightful. I hope it affirms the things that you've been seeing and feeling. I hope it gives you that extra boost of strength, courage, bravery, and confidence you need to continue to move forward and expand your own light, because that's what I came here to do, okay? If you would like to work with me, you can check out my website. Please check out my services page. You can contact me through the website, or you can email me. All information is in the description box below. Please make sure before you email me that you are familiar with my services and you know what it is that you would like moving forward. I do not have a checkout at my services. That is very intentional, because I want to know who is coming to me and whose energy I'm engaging with before I agree to sign up for anything. Okay, so yes, if you are interested in having that full moon in Leo report, please check out the community board again. There is a suggested donation for it, so you can check it out there. It's simply £4.44. It's a 7-slide page that is condensed into, I think, a 2 to 3 page PDF report, but it's very dense with information, not just about the full moon in Leo, but also about the energies that were leading up to it, which are some of the things I touched on in today's, I mean, is it a reading? I don't know. But in today's session, I guess. So I'm going to love you and leave you guys. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Until next time, be well.